call came just after dawn, an hour when quiet feels like a confession. "Mr. Hale," a voice said, smooth, deliberate, the kind that's been trained to hide fear. "Yes, this is Jonathan Graves. I'm, Miss Layton's attorney. We need to discuss the estate transfer." There was a catch in his breath. The pause that followed wasn't professional. It was human. I looked out over the garden, dew clinging to the railings like 1,000 trembling mirrors. Her garden, her design, her illusion of elegance. "What about the transfer?" I asked. He hesitated again. You already executed it?" His throat seemed to tighten around the words. "Yes," I said. "Yesterday, just after she handed me the prenup." The line went still. "Then what did you do with the estate?" he finally asked. And I could see it then, the panic unfurling through their manicured world, the ripples of shock running through her circle of gleaming pretenders. I ended the call without another word. The rest of the story had already been set in motion the moment she slid that document across the table, smiling for her friends while her lawyer watched, waiting for my obedience. It happened in the middle of a dinner that wasn't meant for me. Her circle, entrepreneurs, investors, people who weigh affection by its market value. I'd been engaged to Elise for 9 months. 9 months of curated affection. Sunlit mornings arranged like advertisements. Laughter rehearsed to perfection. When the plates were cleared, she placed a leather folder on the table. Not privately, not gently. "Before we finalize everything," she said, "we just need a small formality." Her friends leaned closer. Her lawyer smiled, that polite, poisonous smile that reeks of superiority. A prenuptial agreement, laid bare before an audience. She said it like it was nothing, like it was for my protection. But her eyes, still glassy, calculating, betrayed her. I caught the flicker of her glance toward the lawyer before she looked back at me. "I know it's not romantic," she said with a soft laugh, "but it's practical." Her friends laughed with her, like applause on cue. Something inside me cooled. Not anger, but something quieter, older, more deliberate. I smiled, said nothing, sipped my wine, and watched the tremor in her hand when she realized I wasn't playing my part. That night, she tried to repair the fracture. Soft words, tender touches, whispered apologies meant to sound like regret. "It's just business," she murmured. But when her phone buzzed twice under the pillow, she flinched. I said nothing, just turned my head, pretending to sleep while my mind recorded every detail. The timing, the tone, the lie pulsing through her breath. By morning, I had traced it all back. Her firm, her lawyer, her partners. 2 names surfaced again and again, Graves and Kent, a private firm infamous for one thing, asset protection before strategic separation. So that was her play. Marry me, isolate the estate, make me sign, then carve it apart under the cloak of legality. But I was already ahead. I checked the property records. She'd met with my broker twice, quiet, unmentioned meetings. I didn't confront her. Not yet. I smiled over coffee, kissed her forehead, told her I needed a day to think. Then I called my lawyer. By dusk, the estate, the mansion, the accounts, everything she assumed would someday be hers, belonged to a charitable foundation under my name. Irrevocable. Permanent. The ink dry before dinner. I left a copy of the new documents on my desk, folded neatly, visible enough for curiosity to do its work. When she found them, she tried to act unaware, but she'd never been good at improvising. Her hands trembled over breakfast. "You've been busy," she said, trying to sound casual. "A few changes," I replied, "to simplify things." "Changes? Estate adjustments." Her voice faltered. The possessiveness slipped through, sharp as glass. I leaned back, watching realization bloom and curdle across her face. She'd already called Graves. I could feel it. Probably sent him the papers the moment she saw them. I said nothing, just rose, kissed her cheek, and walked out. That evening, when her lawyer called, panic dripping through the receiver, I knew the moment had arrived. He said her name twice before continuing. He said irrevocable like it was a sentence. The foundation couldn't be undone. The estate wasn't hidden or sold, it was gone. Gifted. Final. The empire she planned to inherit had evaporated. Cleanly, lawfully, beautifully. I saw her once more at the house that no longer belonged to either of us. She stood by the door, mascara smudged, clinging to the last threads of control. "How could you?" she whispered. "I only followed your lead," I said. "Business, not emotion." Her voice broke into static. I walked past her, brushed my fingers across the marble counter she'd chosen. White, veined like fractured bone. "You wanted a contract," I said. "You got one, just not the one you wrote." Her knees wavered. I saw the truth strike her. Not that she'd lost me, but that she'd lost the game. I left her there, trembling in the shell of what she thought she owned. Outside, the air was cold enough to make my breath visible. A perfect reflection of what we'd been. Real only when exhaled. Gone the instant it touched open air. Graves called again the next morning. Apologies, legal language, offers to reconsider. I told him the foundation was final. Then silence. Elise hasn't called since. I heard she moved somewhere quiet. A place where no one knows she was outplayed by the man she thought too naive to protect himself. Sometimes I pass the gates of the old estate. Taller now, black iron swallowing the sunrise. I feel no nostalgia, only precision. The world feels cleaner when delusion dies. Love didn't end that night. Illusion did. And in the silence that followed, I finally heard myself again. Final line. She demanded my signature. She just never realized it was on her farewell.